Russell here, CEO and founder of 850 Club Credit Consultation. Hope everyone's doing well. We'll make this video quick. I got an appointment right after this, but I did have a client. It's easier to make videos as I talk to a lot of my clients. Everybody's situation is different. That's what I know. I don't like when people give a lot of advice and they only know their situation. It's easier because for me, of course, because I see a lot of different situations. But either way, and what happened with her was her car was totaled, and she says, Calvin, how fast can I buy a car? The first thing that you got to understand if the car that you got into an accident with, okay, you have to number one go into if you have a balance or not. What's going on, Devon? And that's to find out what is going to happen to that balance. Okay, so number one, did you have gap insurance? Okay, now that's more so number two, because the biggest thing is going to be, did you have, no, of course, is insurance going to cover it? Okay, if insurance is not going to cover everything, then of course, then you have to ask yourself question number two, do you have gap coverage? For those who don't know, I have a video I did not too long ago about gap insurance, and sometimes you can get it from the dealership at any time. Well, not at any time. You can do it at the beginning of the loan, and or some insurance companies, like, they tie it into your insurance. Okay, and but that's two ways that you can do it. The biggest thing is going to be understanding who's going to pay for that balance. Okay, so in her situation, the car was totaled completely, and she says, Calvin, you know what? The car's total. They're giving me a rental, but they're not giving me a rental long enough for me to find another car. Okay, my brother's going through this right now. Perfect, right on time, right, Sheila? So, and that's the thing, is that I said, well, here's the thing. All you have to do is get in writing from the insurance company what the status of the car is going to be. In this case, the car is total. Okay, so if the car is total, all she has to do is get something in writing from, no, in her case, it's State Farm, and just saying, hey, listen, the car is total, and we're going to cover the balance 100%. As long as they can send that either via email or fax to the dealership. Okay, assuming it's easier via email, because that way you can go to different dealerships, whatever. Of course, you can do by fax if you've already kind of picked out a car and all the rest of that jazz. Because if not, you have to look at it like this: the balance still stays on your credit report. So you can't get in an accident on Monday. They deem it as totaled on Wednesday, and then the balance is gone Friday. It doesn't work like that, because they have to take that. Once they assess the value, they cut the check, the payoff amount, and they send it to the lender. Even if they paid the lender off a day after the accident, it still takes 3 to 4 weeks for it to update on your credit report. You guys got to keep that in mind. So, but you get that letter from State Farm or wherever it's going to be. Now State Farm's getting plugged, right? So, or whatever whoever your insurance company is, as long as it says in writing, know that they're going to pay off that balance, you're good to go. Okay, and you just show that to the dealership. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some, just because they work at the dealership, don't mean they know what the hell they're doing. Just because they're car salesmen, don't mean they don't know what the hell they're doing. So I never, ever lost a deal because of an accident or because of a person having the car totaled. Now, there are also the flip side of it. What happens if you get into an accident and the insurance company, it doesn't have enough to cover the vehicle, but the car is not drivable, and so you're going to be stuck with a balance, and you don't have gap insurance, right? What do you do then? Then you need to go to, that's where you got to decide what's going to happen to that balance. So you either got to cover that balance with money down, okay, or if the rebate on a new car can cover it, or if your credit score is high enough to carry over that difference to the next vehicle, okay? Another option that's not the best option is letting the car go as a voluntary repossession, because now you got the repossession on there, and then another bank, most banks won't let you just go into another vehicle without saying, hey, without trading that other vehicle in. Especially if it depends on how fast you do it. Because if you do it, like I said, the scenario where if you get into an accident on Monday and they say, hey, listen, we're giving you $15,000 for this car, but you owe $20,000 for it. And you say, well, I can't, where does the other $5,000 going to come from? There are ways for the dealership for you, let's say, for example, you get into a car, the negative equity is $5,000. The rebate is, let's say, $2,000. Now you got $3,000. Your credit score plays a major role, because the higher your score, the more you can carry over to the next vehicle, or you can put money down. Okay, but sometimes they can discount the car enough to where the car now has positive equity, and of course that equity then takes over that amount, if that makes any sense. Okay, let's say, for example, you're looking at a car that costs $20,000 and it's worth $20,000. Say it's a brand new car, and let's say it has a $1,000 rebate. So, but if it has a $1,000 rebate, now that 1,000 eats up $1,000 of that $5,000 cost. Now you have 4,000. Okay, depending on your credit score, you can carry over up to about $5,000. That's how it was for us at Nissan. If you had like a 700, you can carry up to $5,000 over. Okay, but the lower your score, the less they're going to let you carry over, because again, they're hoping you pay your car note on time. Okay, everything is hope, everything is risk. So if that's the case, let's say, for example, they only allow you to carry over 2 out of that 4. Now you have another 2. You have to put money down, or you can get a cosigner, somebody with a stronger credit score that can be on that loan. Okay, so there are ways out of it. If the car is totaled, you just simply need a letter from the insurance company saying, hey, listen, the car is completely totaled. Okay, we're going to cover this balance, and we're letting you know that we're going to pay the balance in full. Here's the letter. That way you're not waiting 30 days to buy a damn car, because I don't know any insurance company is going to let you get a rental for a month. Yeah, okay. So you got to most definitely get that taken care of. The other way around that is, of course, if you don't have the gap insurance, all the rest of that stuff, you're stuck with a balance, and you're like, how, what are we going to do? There are some used cars actually that are worth more than the price that they're selling. Or like, I would give an example. One time we had like a Jeep Cherokee. It was worth like $18,000. We bought it for like $13,000. So that was about $5,000 with a positive equity. And granted, we didn't make that much on the deal, but at the same time, we covered about $3,500 worth of positive equity. I'm sorry, of negative equity, because we had 5,000 positive. Okay, so of course we ended up making about $1,500, positive, on that deal. But again, amazingly, American vehicles do pretty good if they're trucks, really. I know, but it all depends on what the dealership buys them for. Just because the dealership has a used car for, let's say, $15,000, hell, they probably paid $13,000. But then they also have to get stuff done to the vehicle. It's not every case where they're selling a car for $15,000 and they paid $10,000 for it. That's extremely rare, unless it's like maybe like a BMW or a Mercedes or a Lincoln, or a lot of scenarios can happen in a situation like that. But that's the best way to get out the situation, is get the letter from the insurance company, or be prepared to put money down, or co-signer, or see if you can carry that balance over to the next vehicle, or you do a voluntary repossession, which, I mean, that's certain. I'm going to do a video when voluntary repossessions actually make sense. So it sucks, but I mean, there are times where it actually makes sense. But this is not the video for that. Do that for another day. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you like it, you want to share it. As always, be sure to subscribe. By the way, driving, right? And this guy, I'm not gonna say where he works, and I don't want to get him in trouble. He says, hey man, I watch your videos. So it was pretty cool. So I need to have more moments like that. So be sure to subscribe. See you guys soon. All right.